Billy, did you swoop in on your wife, on your beautiful wife, with your comedy?
No, he used a Soul Glow.
I will tell you, I'm sure it was a combination.
We need to know your technique on this one.
I'm sure it was a combination because there is no possible way that woman was dumb enough to fall for me.
And everybody knows Melissa.
Everybody
at least
knows
around here. Everybody knows Melissa.
There's Melissa. This is Melissa Kirksey.
And we all love her.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's Melissa Kirksey. If somebody asks me, who I'm dropping the car off for, it might be 2 or 3 different names. It could be Kirksey, it could be Allen, it could be, there's some history that I'm glad I've worked past. But anyway, I ended up with her. She is currently mine. Okay. Currently mine.
She may not be after the show.
Yeah,
right?
she might chuck my ass like a bad piece of corn when this is over with. And I'm pretty sure she will.
With an arpeggio.
With that arpeggio, and hopefully your editing skills, which are in question at the moment.
I question them every time I edit the show. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah. But I told my wife, at the time she was not my wife. At the time, I thought she was going to be somebody else's wife.
What?
Was she dating somebody else?
She was. Yeah,
Are
it
you
was.
serious,
It was
Clark?
all right. So, like the way everything started for us was in 2019, about July-ish, I would say. I played in public for the first time ever, and that was at Bonnie Blair's or BB's Live open mic on Tuesday night.
All right. So she had BBs at this time, right?
She had BBs at this time. Her father at this time was battling cancer.
Right.
And so I never really ran into her at this particular time. But that was the first time I ever played anywhere out in public. And on Tuesday nights, BB's was absolutely
packed.
packed.
I went once.
It was phenomenal. It was just there were great bands and great people that got up to play, and I had never seen anything like it. So I was fortunate enough to be able to get up and actually play. And Emergency 9, as everybody knew it from the beginning, that was where it emerged. So I kept going back and forth and would go periodically. Of course, again, I never knew her at the time because she was fighting battles that I had no idea about. So I met her for the first time that December at Pelican Cove at the Christmas party. And we were able to get in and play the Christmas party. And I was trying to get booked somewhere. That was, again, that was the whole goal, is to be able to get booked and play out in public.
Are you trying
No.
to solo
This
or
was with the band. This was with the band.
What was the band's name?
Emergency 9.
Oh, it was Emergency 9.
Yeah, it was Emergency 9. So it was Les Beasley, Yancey Jero, Clayton Pell, and myself. Chris Link also at the time. The first time we actually ever played out anywhere other than open mic was at the Christmas party at Pelican. And I think our name at that time was Missing Link. So we were playing off of Chris's name, which Chris had played with Les, my drummer, in a band for about 30 years. So I thought, Chris was the shit basically at the time. And Chris is phenomenal. But, Chris sings with a lot of people. So she couldn't always make our gigs. So we changed the name from Missing Link to Emergency 9, and there it went. But anyway, when I finally met Melissa, really, the first several times, I would go into BB's. I lived about 25, 30 minutes away from BB's, but I would go in and I would try to support the bands. Of course, they had this deal where musicians didn't pay a cover anytime that there was somebody playing. I always paid a cover. I always wanted it to go to the musicians. I would go in and I might drink 2 or 3 beers, stand against the wall, listen, and then I'd leave. Never would say anything to anybody. I'd just be kind of in and out.
That is
to
so
myself.
hard to believe.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, but that was the way it was. Like,
But you
I
also
mean,
told us not to believe a word you fucking said either.
this is actually true. Yeah.
This
All
part-
that other bullshit is a lie, but this is actually
This is
true.
really
Yeah.
the truth.
You really need to pay attention to this.
Okay, this is true, people.
But no, I mean, like for real, like I would, I mean, I had the chance to be, on stage and open mics with, with Josh Journey, with Chad Wesley, with, members of Pop Fiction. I mean, it was just everybody. I didn't know who anybody was, but it was just a jam. It was really cool. It was a really good way for me to kind of experience what everybody had to offer about the scene. But we finally got in BB's after, I don't know, maybe a month or so after the Christmas party. And we played maybe one show. I think we opened for Def Legend
I remember
at
that.
BB's. Yeah, we opened for Def Legend, and we did what I thought was really, really well for us. And we had a good show, and then COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get to play again until, I don't know, maybe August or maybe in October. But anyway, in October, we played again at BB's. Yeah, because the fair was going on at that point. And I said a couple of things after I had been drinking.
No.
Not possible,
Really?
Billy.
Yeah, I mean, I might have referenced the fair and, I've dropped a couple of F-bombs about this, that, and the other. And anyway, she happened to be there at that point. Her father had passed away, unfortunately, and but she was back at the business most of the time at that point. And she decided that she was entertained by my antics enough that she wanted us to play there just for her and not play anywhere else. So she approached me about that, and I thought that was great. My drummer, again, who's 70 years old.
You really have this age thing with him.
Yeah, he's an old motherfucker. I will never let him live it down. It's son of a bitch. Every time I go, like I dropped my trailer off over at Truckers today. I mean, at Pelican today, and I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker. I had one amp, one guitar. Now I got 12.
The
And I'm
whole trailer.
dropping a trailer off over here at Pelican for shit I got to unload tomorrow. But anyway, Les Beasley, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see him, kick him in the dick. The dick. He claims to have a big one. Please kick him in it, wherever it is. Kick left, kick right, just kick high, kick hard. I don't care. Just kick him in the dick.
Just kick.
Les Beasley. 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 Les Beasley, ladies and gentlemen. Motherfucker. Anyway, so at that point, Melissa, I had been drinking a little bit, and I think I was singing at that point a song called Creep by Radiohead. And so it got to a point where I want a perfect body, I want a perfect soul. And of course, I have this way about just spontaneously changing lyrics to whatever
course.
I think they
How
need to
about
be.
singing that line for us right now?
So at this point, I sang, I want MK's body. I want MK's soul. Now, she at the time didn't pay attention to these lyrics that I had changed. It wasn't until about a month later when she kind of heard them. And at this point, like, I thought she had been engaged, which makes me a prick for even saying it to begin with. But you know what? Again, asshole, whole ass, so you got to have goals. So I was wanting to go from here to here. So anyway, I thought she was engaged, and turns out she wasn't engaged when I thought she was. And then she called me on a little bit of my talking shit, and then I really didn't know what to do.
Talk more shit.
Well, yeah, but then it comes to a point, Russell, where you have to speak in tongues. You can't just talk.
I
You got yeah. So anyway, that's kind of how it it progressed to that point where I said I remember saying it. Please, baby, I'm sorry.
You said baby?
I'm fucking sorry, baby.
He's looking at the camera,
I'm fucking
apologizing.
He's whipped.
She knows I have said this multiple times in our relationship. I'm fucking sorry, baby. I said that I had a strict 8-to-1 ratio that I lived my life by. That if I was going to have one, you going to have 8. That apparently seemed appealing. And so, anyway, that's how our relationship began.
Which song won her over? It had to have been
It wasn't no song.
It was Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
It wasn't
You need
no
to sing that
song,
version
Russell.
of that.
It was not no song, Russell. It was not no song, Russell. It was. This probably.
What the fuck is he doing?
It was something like that. And it was for a long time. Because I remember saying, I will make you. I'm fucking sorry, baby. I will make you come until the sun come up.
Oh my gosh.
And so when the sun came through,
She finally came.
She finally, motherfucker ass.
He has a 1-to-8 ratio.
That's really well done. But when that sun finally come through, them blackout curtains right there, that was cut just a little too short. She said, "You have got to get off of this motherfucker. You have got to come up. I can't do it no more." I said, "Okay, no problem."
She is going to kill you.
She is going to kill
absolutely.
me. This is bad, ladies and gentlemen. This is bad, but I don't give a shit. This is our relationship. She knows all about our relationship. My parents may not know exactly how it went down.
They do now.
It might not be.
We just need their
nearly-
names. We'll send them a copy of this.
It's not nearly as enchanting as the story I told them, but
Yeah, I'd like to hear that one too.
yeah, it was bullshit. I'm going to just tell you right now, I am a golf professional. Not to be confused with a professional golfer. Professional golfer makes a living playing golf. I am a golf professional who makes a living by letting other people play golf at his facility. My father, God bless him, is a car salesman. So I'm a golf professional who is the son of a car salesman, meaning you can't believe shit that I say at all. Not a word.
I was going to say the car salesman thing may explain a lot of this.
Yeah.
Oh, there ain't no doubt. There is no doubt. My father is he's a member of Mensa. He is absolutely as brilliant as anybody you would ever want to see in your life. But
But he's full of crap.
he is full of shit. Absolutely full of shit.
I bet he's a good car salesman.
He is a great car salesman.
So
I
it
never
works.
wanted for a thing in my life. Not a thing. No. Maybe a little bit of ass once in a while, but you know what? That was different.
Did he buy your first guitar?
No, I bought my first guitar I had birthday money, I guess, that I spent on it. It was a PV Predator
Oh,
Billy
that's
was
right.
like 49 when
that
he
I
bought
bought
it.
from Jimbo Harwell at Morrison Brothers
Morrison Brothers. Wow.
On 80?
on 80.
Oh, that was a while
yeah,
back.
it was a while back.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a long while back.
Yeah, it was a total piece of shit. God, it was a terrible guitar.
Usually
Like I say, I've got a red one in here. I'll sell you.
No. You can keep that motherfucker. I know exactly how hard it is going to be to keep in tune.
I think the pickup in it is worth more than the guitar.
Oh, ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
not. It is not original pickup.
So you guys went on. Look, you made me laugh so hard when y'all went on there was a trip to, was it Jamaica?
No, it was Coast. It was.
Oh my God, that
no,
was
it
so
was the
funny.
Dominican Republic.
Now
Dominican Republic.
Who did the editing on that video?
No, there was no editing on that video.
Oh, dude, I was laughing when we went to see Alter Bridge.
Yeah, there was no editing on that video.
I couldn't quit laughing.
All right, so
I couldn't quit. It was
I'm going to have to piss again before I tell the story. I'm just going to tell you right now because this is going to be long.
Time out.
Yeah.
All right.
We're back.
The
I feel like I have a
story-
diaper on my head. Look at the way this hat kind of sit, and then the way these earphones kind of sit. Ah, well, hell with it.
There's going to be a lot of shorts in this stuff.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to poke you.
Okay, the
Shithead.
story. We're back.
That's fine.
Sorry.
All right. So, anyway,
Where are we at?
before we were so rudely interrupted by my bladder,
The video at Dominican Republic.
yeah, the video of
Oh.
Dominican Republic. All right, so I have never been out of the country in my life. Like, I hadn't had a passport. Again, I'm not one of these people that had aspirations of doing a whole lot of anything other than just making fun of the people around me. So I didn't need to go to another country to make fun of motherfuckers when I had motherfuckers here to make fun of.
Right.
So this is where we were. But my wife, before we were married, said, I'm going to take you out of the country. I said, okay. Where are we going to go? We're going to go to the Dominican Republic. We're going to stay in a resort. We're going to drink. We're going to do all this stuff. We're
Be all
going to have a
bougie.
great time. Yeah, we're going to all bougie.
Bougie.
All right, so I am not one of these people that can just sit and drink. I just can't do it. Like, I've been on a...
much like right now.
No. I gotta be active.
I think we're drinking
Yeah,
just fine.
I gotta be active. Like, I mean, and I gotta be in an environment where I'm kind of comfortable too. Like, I was on a cruise recently with Russ. Not
You
we
did
weren't
not
in the
enjoy
same
that
room.
cruise,
We were just
man.
on the same boat.
Y'all went on the same boat.
We were on the
Dude,
same boat.
dude,
but
that
like,
was,
I don't like boats. Like, I mean, like, I don't like.
There was more going on in that boat.
Yeah, there was more going on, but like I'm just not one of these people that gonna sit here and look around at other idiots and sit here and just drink. Like, I can't.
But I'll bet if you go on a Monsters of Rock cruise, you would enjoy it.
Well, like, I mean, I could do
That's
something
different.
like that.
This
maybe.
was out of
But
New
yeah,
Orleans.
this was different.
and
This was different. This
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
move back to Dominican Republic.
So we're back
sounds
to
like there's a good story
So
in
we're
there.
back.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Kevin.
yeah. There's a good story behind that too.
I'm making a back scratcher.
So anyway, we're back to Dominican Republic. So she says, "I'm taking you out of the country. We're going to go to the DR." She had a friend that we met with at BB's. At that point, I think it was after hours. Anyway, he had a condo in the Dominican, and he said, "Go stay at my condo. There's one for sale in the same complex. You should buy it."
Was it
What do you get?
insulated?
It was nice. It was a nice little condo.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. It was a nice condo. So we got in, flew in. They picked us up at the airport. It's just a different world. It's the third world. Like, you don't know what the third world is until you've been to the third
Because the
world.
video I saw, y'all were riding donkeys and shit.
We were riding donkey. It was horses. It was so sweat that passes for horses at that time. But I would take responsibility for that whole horse ride. We're gonna get to that in a minute. It's trauma. It's just trauma. I'm bringing back just for y'all. Okay,
PTSD.
there's some PTSD in this shit right here. So we have to go to the grocery store immediately from the airport because you can't drink the water, you can't eat the shit, you can't. I mean, like, you got to have exactly what you need to have at your house or the place you stay in if you're going to be there. And of course, I'm looking at prices and shit, and it's like, it's $6 million for a thing of bread. You know, like, I don't know what I don't know how to budget this, baby. I mean, what's $20? What's $20 get us? Is it like a half a loaf of bread? What is it? So, I mean, we get a buggy full of shit. I mean, it's like 128 million pesos or whatever. It ended up being like $76. I don't know. Man, I don't know how they figure it all up. But anyway, we got our shit. We went to the damn condo. We got in there. It was beautiful. They had mini splits over all the places, so you could get cool. What I told you, say, if you're not in the place, don't turn it on. Only turn it on when you're in there because there's a power problem.
Then why have a mini split?
Yeah, exactly. Why have a mini split? So anyway, we're looking out over the balcony, and there's a beautiful pool down below us. Absolutely beautiful pool. Now, just understand, I have been a man that's been fat most of my life, and a lot of part of my body has not been exposed to sunlight. So not only is it fat, but it's extremely pale. So a pool is not really what excites me.
I feel you there.
So anyway, I'm looking out at this surf just crashing. Just this water's beautiful looking. Yeah, it's gonna be perfect for me. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait till tomorrow morning. We're gonna get down there. We're gonna go down to the beach. We're gonna fucking just, I'm gonna dig up shells. I'm gonna fish. I'm gonna do all kind of shit. Like, this is great. So we go down the next morning. There is an abnormal amount of seaweed that has washed ashore. Like, you have to scale this shit with climbing gear to get over what has washed up and then get to the beach and get to the surf. And then, of course, then you're looking out in the surf and it's just shit churning just over and over and over. Like, it looked like swamp. Like, if you literally walked out into the surf, it would overtake you with seaweed. So you couldn't go out into the water. And if you could get far enough out into the water to get past the seaweed, they had these commercial boats and shit that was just going past you. Banana boats and parasails and yachts and whatever it was. So you could only go out to a certain point, and that didn't get you past all the seaweed. So you couldn't enjoy the beach. So you had to just sit there and look. I'm just not a sit there and look kind of person. Like, if I'm going to sit there and look, you might as well put me on the shitter.
Yep.
I mean, at least I'm accomplishing something at that point. But anyway, so we decided we were going to go into town and we were going to try to do this, that, and the other and try to salvage what we could out of the experience. And none of that worked out quite well either. We went deep sea fishing.
Well, that was fun.
Well,
No?
that you would think, Russ, you would think that was fun. That was a great deal. I, like a dumbass that knew a little bit of Spanish, decided I'm going to go book us some trips.
Oh, no.
I'm going to book
shit.
us some things to do. So I booked us a fishing trip. They picked us up right outside of our little condominium area. And they dropped us off at some podunk fishing village. Like, there was no one around that spoke a word of English. Not a sumbitch. There was fucking dogs with rib cages showing and shit. I mean, there was chickens that looked angry. I mean, there was all kind of shit just like looking around. There were people just getting bussed in. They're walking past us looking like, motherfucker, y'all got any money? I mean, like, it looked bad. I was worried because they don't like you can't bring knives and firearms and all the kind of things that I would have here. You can't bring them over there. So somehow they picked us up and they took us out to a boat. And it looked like the boat that Jaws had kicked the shit out of. It looked bad. It looked real bad. And they dropped us off on this boat. And I was really worried about it. And then somebody came up and they said, you're on the wrong boat. I said,
I would have agreed.
thank Christ. Because this was supposed to be a deep sea vessel, and it had cane poles on the top of it. Like, I mean, there was corks and shit. I mean, like, you would have thought it was on the reservoir.
What's that, the friendship?
Damn.
How many
It
times
was
is that? How many times is that houseboat sunk?
It was bad. I'm just going to tell you right now. I was like Captain Bilge over here. Like, you just tell me how hard to pump and how, like, you give me a sock in my hand, I can go pretty fast. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, so they put us on a different boat and they took us out, and it was the worst absolute sea you could possibly take somebody out in. Like, it was 12-foot waves just going out.
Short boat.
It sounded like a snare that just been blowed out the whole time. Like, you looking back, you don't know where to look, this, that. You looking at them horizon, you just like banging your head. So, I was okay until the point where I had to piss. Kind of like this podcast.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, it's kind of like this podcast. I had to go piss. And everything was fine until I was trying to piss and was doing this.
You got wet, didn't you?
And then, no, I didn't get wet. But I don't know if they decided to turn hard port or what. But somehow I banged my head against the wall of this little shitty ass bathroom on this boat. And I thought I passed out. And then when I kind of came to, it made me sick. And I'm trying to throw up. And when I'm trying to throw up and my feet are coming off the ground and shit's, it's just bad. It was just a terrible experience. So we're going out, I don't know how many miles. It could have been 612 miles out, just into 12-foot waves the entire time. I finally got done. I told us, it's just like, you have got to turn us around. We ain't had a bite. Oh, we're about to get to the good fishing. I'm like, fuck the fishing. We're going home.
Could they speak English at this point?
He could kind of speak English, but he wasn't great. But he knew when I looked green that we didn't need to be the fuck out there no more.
If anything, there was some sign language.
Yes, yeah. He said, please don't throw up in my bathroom. I said, I'm going to throw up in your bathroom if you don't turn us around and take us back to the dock right now. We ain't, of course, in the whole 617 miles or whatever it was we went, we ain't caught nothing. Not a bite, not nothing. Everybody on that boat was green. It was the worst goddamn fishing experience of my entire life. I said, I'll never go back ever again. So then the next day, again, this is coming from a real fluent Spanish speaking individual who is extremely Caucasian. I thought that I had booked us this beautiful catamaran scuba diving tour, that they were going to take us to this coral reef and we were going to be able to dive and we are going to see all this exotic shit. That ain't what I booked. I thought that's what I had booked for, but it wasn't. They picked us up on a bus right outside the condominium the next morning, and we stopped 73 times to pick up people at gas stations, at bus stops, anywhere else you think of that looked like you probably shouldn't stop there. We pick people up. Because now I've realized what they do in these third world countries is there's 97 people that sell the same trip. The same trip. On the same bus, on the same boat, all this shit. So I had no idea what was going on. So we get on this bus and we drive. We cross the country. I think we're on the other side of Costa Rica at this point. They drop us off and they say, y'all go down the hill to this little place where the tour guides are going to meet you. So we walking down this big ass hill. These people with AK-47s walking around. I'm scared. They ain't shit I can do. Normally I can talk somebody down. When they can't understand English, I'm pretty much screwed. I can amuse you, but I can't amuse some bitch that can't understand English. Like, I mean, I can talk some fake ass Spanish, but I don't know if that's really going to offend him or not. So we get down the bottom of this hill and we walk around what I would kind of classify as a broke ass kind of summer camp place. They had some food. They said, this is an all-inclusive trip. It's going to give you 3 meals. And it's going to give you this and this and this. The first meal we got, I don't know if you've ever been to the grocery store and you've pretty much gotten the remnants of what meat they could not use. But that's essentially what we got in a slice. I would call it loaf. You know, there's been.
It's kind of like hot dog meat.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's pretty much. It's just lips and assholes. I can guarantee you that's what it was. It was lips and assholes. It was the hiney ho of whatever meat was there. So we got 2 dry ass slices of bread with a slice of loaf and some cheese on it. That when they was handing it to us with a slice of watermelon on the side, there was flies buzzing over the top of it. So we I couldn't really eat it. I mean, I tried, but I couldn't do it. I could drink the lemonade was about the best I could do. And they proceeded to put us on this catamaran. And I'm like, at this point, I don't realize that this ain't the trip that I thought I had booked. No, I still think like, this is a little suspect, but you know what? I mean, I get it. So we get on this catamaran and we headed out towards the mainland at this point. I'm fucking sorry, babe. I'm still apologizing for this. So this guy, brilliant guy, that's a tour guide, brilliant guy. He speaks like 8 different languages. He's reeling off all this shit in different languages. And he says something about, caballo, this and that. I'm like, what? All right. So those of you who don't speak Spanish, much like me, who thought I spoke Spanish.
I speak Spanish.
All right. So
I'll have a burrito.
So you know what caballo means?
No.
No.
I was kidding.
All right. A caballo is a horse.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's
There
where
was
this is
no
going.
horse on any trip that I had booked. My wife, who was at the time was not my wife, is allergic to horses.
Oh, God.
Allergic to horses.
Yes, allergic to horses.
Oh, no.
I've
So-
never heard of that.
What I have booked, thinking I knew how to speak Spanish and realizing that I didn't at this particular time in the trip, was some kind of horse riding excursion with a woman who was allergic to horses.
And you didn't know this.
Didn't know it at all. So they take us to the mainland.
Did she know this?
She did not know this,
Oh.
but she saw the look on my face when they said caballo, and I went,
What the fuck is that?
and she said, and I think at this point she knew there was something wrong because she said, babe, what'd he say? Babe, what'd he say? And she knew like I was fucked up. Like, I mean, I was bad. I was not in good shape at all because at this point, as full of shit as I am, I didn't know how to explain this. I'm like, babe, what'd he say? I'm like, just shh. Shush.
Hey, Kathy, you
Shush,
okay?
hush. Yeah, babe, be quiet. Just,
Thumbs up.
he's saying something. She said, caballo, but I don't know. Oh, fuck. So get to the mainland. And I can see like this island from the mainland that they dropped us off at. You can see this island that we're supposed to be scuba diving around. Like, I mean, it's like several hundred yards, maybe a mile. I can't really tell at this point, but you can see it. Like it looks like you can touch it. So he says, you're going to take these transports up to the horse ranch. I said, what? And he said, you're going to take these transports to the horse ranch. So about that time, these trucks pull up, and they look like military trucks. They look like deuce and a quarters and deuce and a halves that had pulled up, and they have got wicker seats bolted into them.
Wicker. Wicker.
Yeah, like, I mean, this is ingenuity at its finest right here. I mean, like, there's probably zip ties and shit all kind of down here.
That kind of sound like they're from Simpson County.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it
looks
was
like my
this
car.
was beautiful. They're like, you're going to go up to the top of the island and you're going to ride the horses to the waterfall, and then you're going to turn around and you're going to come back, and then we're going to go to the island.
Sounds
Like,
romantic.
it sounds romantic, except my wife is allergic to horses. And yet we have to transport ourselves to a waterfall on fucking horseback. Doesn't look like it's going to work out well. So I'm like, hey, can you just take us right there? I can
Like,
see it.
Do you have mopeds?
Just drop us the fuck off, like right over there. You got a boat right here. He said, no, you can't. You got to go up there. You don't understand that I know my ass is grass right now.
Okay, did she know she was allergic to horses?
She knew she was allergic to horses, but
he
she didn't
didn't.
know that I had booked her on a horse riding trip.
Right.
He didn't either.
But
Neither
you
did I.
You didn't know that she was allergic to horses, though.
I did not know at the time that
At
she
the
was
time,
allergic to horses.
but you also
But
didn't know.
Yeah. Had I known, like, I mean, I wouldn't have booked her on a horse riding trip. That was not, it was bad. It was just bad all the way around. Everything that happened was bad.
Okay, so in if she's allergic to horses, like what kind of allergy to horses is?
I mean, is it a rash or?
Well,
she-
she said she used, you break out in hives and this, that, and the other. And I mean, I just had to take her word for it. But luckily, okay, so they take us in these military transports with like wicker chairs and shit hooked, bolted into them. They take us up to the top of this island where these waterfalls and all this shit is. And then like, okay, you can just hang out here if you want to. You can just hang out here and you can drink rum. Like, okay, well, that's good. How far is it to the waterfall? She asks. We gonna walk it. He says, you can't walk it. She says, well, I'm gonna get on the damn horse.
Oh boy.
I said, oh shit. I ain't been on a horse since I was about 8 years old myself. So I wasn't really looking forward to it either, and neither were my testicles. So we decided to get on this horse anyway. Well, they put like a picnic blanket over him and then put the saddle over it. So you really don't luckily have much contact with the horse
right.
itself. So we ride all the way down to this waterfall. And of course, I don't know how these horses have survived at this point, because this is like rocky ass shit that they're stepping in. I mean, it's inhumane almost how bad like the terrain that they have to traverse is. So we finally get down to this point where we're going to this waterfall. She's got sandals on. I got some kind of bullshit beach shoe on. And they say, the waterfall's right down there. Like, okay, well, that's great. We'll just walk right down to the waterfall. The waterfall was 6 miles down there, down and up and back over here and there. It was terrible.
And this is Dominican.
This is Dominican Republic. And let me tell you, if you were ever thinking about going to the Dominican Republic, the only time I would go is if you were carrying a nuclear weapon on your back.
So you would not go back.
I would not go back to the Dominican Republic ever again.
At least not on horses.
And I ain't running for office, so y'all could all kiss my ass. Yeah. Suck my peso.
So what was better, the cruise or the Dominican Republic?
They both sucked. At least you were on the cruise. And I will say this.
We didn't get to drink too much together.
No. We didn't drink too much. See, I'm like not a huge, despite what this podcast might infer, I'm not a real big drinker. Okay, I'm just not. Like, I
Well,
can't
You
sit
can't believe
around.
anything he says.
I can't sit around and drink. That's just not what I do.
I
Like,
do it
I
on the
gotta be
weekends.
active. Like, if I'm on stage or whatever, I can drink 6 gallons. I'm fine.
I'm the same way, dude. Monday through Friday, I don't
But-
touch it.
Yeah, like I just can't. I mean, I can kind of drink 2 or 3 and cut loose, and then I get to the point where, like, yeah, I'm stupid, and I'm gonna keep drinking just so I can be stupider,
That sounds just
and
like
that's
me.
where I'm at. I'm
Is that
being
a-
stupider.
Is that a word?
It's gonna be a word now.
It's a Billyism.
It's a Billyism, exactly. But I mean,
Well, we need to do a Monsters of Rock. I think you would enjoy that.
I
more.
would enjoy that. Like, I mean, like I have anything where I can be relatively active. I'm good.
Well-
I just can't be stationary and sit there and just drink, and that be my sole purpose on the ship. Now, we'll say, like, I gambled enough on that one cruise where they send me shit now where, like, not only do I get a free suite and a free drinks everywhere on the ship, I get $300 in free play at the casino, and I get I mean, like, I can go anywhere in the world and live in luxury. Like, I had a balcony room in this last cruise. Now I get a suite. Like, I mean, they pretty much gonna send somebody up there to wash my testicles if I want.
And dry them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, the
Hey,
thing about it is,
sign me
like,
up.
if you dry them, there's like shit can't grow on them. If you leave them a little bit wet, I mean, at least you can
the sh-
have,
You want the schmegma.
schmegma.
That's right. Okay.
SCH.
You got it.
Megma.
Yeah.
Folks, in the comments, let us know if you think Billy needs to be a stand-up comedian.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because we think so.
Let me tell you something.
We
Billy
think
is
so.
too fat to be able to be a
No.
stand-up comedian.
No.
You're not.
No.
Yes.
Look at
Let
Ron
me be a
White.
sit down.
Hey, dude, your pH.
Ron White's great
fat.
for an hour and a half. I don't know how long we've been doing this.
Hour and a
It
half.
started yesterday at some point.
Actually, this has been an hour and 45 minutes.
There is
minus-
no way this has been an hour and 45 minutes.
Yes,
There's
minus,
no way.
minus about 2 5-minute pee breaks.
That's only because I like to shake it
You shake it for 5 minutes.
I witnessed it. He did.
for 5 whole minutes. And sometimes, like, instead of shaking it like this, I turn it over and I shake it like this. And I feel like somebody else is shaking it.
I always thought if you used the left hand, that felt like somebody else.
Let me tell you something. I pleasured myself so much growing up as a teenager with my right hand that I would lay back and my dick would look like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Like, it would lean over this way.
Leaning tower of penis.
It did. Like, it leaned over kind of towards my right. So I started going lefty. So
Trying to straighten it
try
back
to
out.
straighten it back up. And I will say that started when I was about 18 and a half, 19. I'm 44 now. So 25 years later, I've almost got it back straight.
So you still
So
got
that's a testament to how much you pull on it when you're from like 14 to 18.
so you caused it to be Peyronie's.
Oh yeah, Peyronie's disease. Yeah.
Peyronie's,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Do you have a bender bump in your penis?
I don't even know what Peyronie's means.
It's Peyronie's disease.
Peyronie, sorry.
I have no idea.
Yeah. No.
means-
It's
it
like
means
when you
bent
have
dick.
like if like
You can screw
let's
around.
just say
I
like
know about banana dick.
No, you can
if-
screw around
if
corners
you
with
wanted
it.
your dick to peek around a corner,
That's right.
that's kind of what Peyronie's is. Like it has a weird bend in it.
I
So
always-
like like if you wanted to kind of see who was over there but not go into the room, you would kind of just like
Yeah.
like let it
put a-
look around the
put a-
door
well,
frame.
you know, there's banana dick, which looks like a banana.
Well, that could
It's
be
kinda
it, but
curved like
it
a
might be
banana.
sideways.
I mean, is it
banana.
yellow?
Well, it's just
Or is it green?
It's shaped like one. It's not necessarily that same color.
Oh, okay. Because if I woke up, I had yellow dick, I'd be like, "Woo,
Yeah, there's something
there's
wrong.
some
A little
issues."
jaundiced.
Yeah, yeah.
Something's wrong.
John Dick.
You'd be calling Russ. Russ, you're,
You'd be like
you're
John
a
Dick.
nurse, right?
Yeah,
I was like, I've never seen some shit like that
we
before.
have shot some
Be like,
shit in here tonight. I'm
Hey,
just
Russ.
gonna tell you right now.
This is what we've
This
been
is
looking
a
for.
really, really risque show.
I am going to have to put,
I'm
this is
gonna
for
have to-
mature audiences.
I'm gonna be
on this one.
really, really curious to see what this editing process is gonna be.
Really in trouble.
You know, it may just be let this go.
Yeah. It may tonight.
Here's the
Billy
intro.
Allen. There we go.
Here's the intro.
That's it.
This is the Billy Allen show.
God almighty.
And then you got the
Wow.
silent giggler over there.
Mm-hmm. Gurgler.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I can slurp again.
Do it. Thank you for that.
Billy, you got to come back.
I mean, I'll be back. I am an open book. I mean, like, it may be Braille, but it's like an open book.
You have so much material, it just blows my mind.
Well, I mean, like, again, none
And
of this shit.
this is life. This is life.
This is life. This is just shit you observe and stuff that you experience.
I've got 59 years of life, and I can only talk for about 10 minutes on my life.
that's because you're embarrassed about who you are, Kevin.
Well, you're probably right.
Don't be embarrassed. Embrace it. Embrace it. I mean, like, you know, man, if you
At least I got a good voice, right?
You do have a great voice.
if you lick that one ball sack, you just embrace it.
I have never licked a ball sack.
I have.
That's not what I heard.
Really?
Russell's.
Thank you for that. Was it salty?
It's
What I want to
Russell's.
know is, did Russell like it?
I did.
It was right off. It tasted like bark. He was just off a
I know.
tree job.
I know, dude. I'm sorry. I straddled it.
Was it cold?
It was. It had a. Did it not have a pecan taste?
It was saw dick. It was saw dick.
It was a little
That's what
pecan
it
taste,
was.
wasn't it? You like the pecan, don't you?
Russell, how old are you now?
He's 50.
I have forgotten.
You're 5'0"?
He's
Yes,
5'0".
50. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yep. With the pecan ball sack.
God, y'all make me feel so old.
No. I mean, there's no reason to feel old.
But hey, I'm not an old drummer, right?
Age is no. You're not an old drummer. That motherfucker. Let me tell you right now, Les Beasley, ladies and gentlemen, Beasley, Beasley. Les
Even he has
Beasley.
11 years on me.
Kick him in the dick. The dick. God almighty.
You know, my age has made me kind of, second guess playing in a band.
With yourself.
Don't
second guess
like
it.
we
Why?
discussed earlier, Kevin. If you want to go get that 150,
Yep. Make that big money, baby.
you just go get that shit.
You go get it.
Let me tell you, don't nobody else
Well, I'll tell you what.
give a shit.
That pays more than this podcast does.
Oh, ain't no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
I think after this one, you might get a little paycheck.
you know
I
what?
will say this:
Here's something else.
the food's much better here.
All right. No,
Yeah, I mean,
here's
like,
something
yeah.
else that's funny. Is like most of us, we really don't get paid to play live. We get paid to move equipment, right?
That's 100%.
Yes, we
right.
do.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. This podcast, I put more work into this podcast than I do playing in a band, and that includes rehearsals and loading gear.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't put any effort into trying to fucking gather up these cables that are around here. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That shit looks awful. I mean, I'd have a damn zip tie or some Velcro or something, at least around some of this shit.
There's some blue
It's a
tape.
hazard.
It looks like
this,
the back-
this is a hazard around here.
Looks like
There's
the
some
back of
blue
my
tape in there
amplifier.
somewhere, but we have not used it.
God almighty. You can't get drunk in this chair. You can't get out of this room. Like a damn sick ass spider got a hold of you. Be up and tangled up in this shit.
I built this to be a music studio because that's what I used to do 20 whatever years ago. And
Well, what's
the
that
first
big-ass
thing that
black
gets
box
recorded,
right there?
the first thing that gets recorded is a fucking podcast.
As a podcast.
A
You built a
podcast.
music studio to record a podcast?
Exactly. That's
Basically,
what it has
that's-
turned out. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, the good Lord leads you to where you're supposed to be led.
I do believe that.
That's true.
I don't deny that at all, because all the bullshit that I have dealt with in life and that we all deal with in life ultimately puts us on the road that we need to be on. And I'm
before
proud
you-
to be on that road.
Before you finish that, I'm still going to record music here.
Are you?
It's just
Whose
the podcast
music?
just happened to.
Yeah, the podcast is kind of a side.
It just sort of
gig.
the podcast just was an idea, and I thought, let's see what happens with this. And
Well,
I'll put it-
podcasts are great, but I mean, the thing about podcasts for the most part is that very rarely do you get true insight into other people. And thankfully, with the alcohol that you provide, I mean,
This is supposed to be BYOB.
I'm fairly certain I had to provide it myself.
You
but,
did.
thankfully, for the alcohol I provided, this is a true insight into the society of music and
Well, I'm going to say this.
I have a hard time saying that
Well,
with a straight face.
I'm going to say this. The inspiration came from, I'm basically retired. So I watch a lot of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran across some guys out of Birmingham with a podcast called X5. And if you've never seen it, you really need to see it. It is awesome.
It's really good.
It's awesome.
David
Who
Lynham,
is it?
David Lynham's on it.
Yeah, David Lynham,
Charlie Reese.
Charlie Reese. Oh man, these guys it's so good.
You know David, don't you?
So you're talking about respected people. They're on a podcast.
Well, but that their show is about as entertaining as you right now.
Well, I mean,
And that's kind of we're not trying to copy them. We're just very inspired by them. And, we're trying to get this podcast in that sort of vein. It's kind of what we're thinking.
They've had Steel Panther on.
Yeah. They've had some big names on. I mean,
the
we
Brewer-
don't have those kind of
the
connections.
Brewer guy.
At least not yet, anyway.
Jim Brewer.
They've had him.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, like, even the funniest people that you'll see, like, you can watch, Dave Chappelle and, all those guys, everything that they talk about is a life experience.
Absolutely.
It's real life, right?
It is. It's real life. And we have all lived very humorous lives in certain points. It's just a matter of the perspective in which you view it.
Right.
True.
I mean, it really is. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about, previous marriages and this, that, and the other, and they may be painful to a degree, but there is an element of comedy out of every bit of pain that you
Absolutely.
experience. And if you
Absolutely.
can't embrace that,
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
When we came up with this idea, and then I talked to Kathy about it, the idea was we kind of wanted it to be music related because we love the music around here. We love all the people, all the musicians, and we do want to help promote, but we want this to be entertaining at the same time.
Right.
And that was kind of the idea, and we were hoping that the people in the central Mississippi area would jump on this, and it's slow going. It's hard to get people to actually hit a like button, or a subscribe button. But we have a vision for the channel. Now, whether we ever get there or not, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it takes time. I mean, of course, when you have episodes that are, an hour or more long, it's very difficult to keep someone's attention for that period of time.
That's true.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure this out. I mean, we're not professional podcasters by any means.
Yeah, we learn something new every episode as well.
Right.
Well, it's like, let's just say that you taglined it like this. Like, I mean, if you had different segments per se, and you said, Billy Allen on STS Podcast says to all you local musicians.
that might be the thumbnail for the video right there.
I mean, that's it. Like, you are all chicken shit.
Thank you, Billy. I've been sitting there going, I wonder what this thumbnail is going to look like.
Exactly. I mean, like,
Well, there it is.
I love you all, but, I mean this sincerely. All of you. All of you. Every one of you.
I love you, but fuck you.
Yeah, but fuck you. Yeah, B-U-T, not B-U-T-T. But fuck you. Not but fuck you. But
You're butt fucking who?
but fuck you. Not but fuck you.
Death to all butt.
Yeah.
But not
metal.
butt fuck you.
Yeah, not butt fuck you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you get my drift. But that's
All
the
over
thing.
somebody's back.
Yeah, we bring it right back to the middle. Asshole.
I'm going to ask you right now. Do you want to be a co-host? This is awesome.
I mean, you're going to have to move it closer to my house, motherfucker. I can't drive home every week doing this shit. I'm just going to tell you right now. This ain't going to work at all
Hey,
for me.
I've got a spare closet in the back you can sleep in.
I don't want, my wife ain't sleeping in that closet, motherfucker. I ain't. She wants me home. Let me tell you, ain't no whiskey dick like my whiskey dick. I'm just going to tell you right now.
I don't know.
There's a drum back here.